Hello, this is Kelly Hammond from Resiliency.Coach. I want to thank all those who participated in the special holiday episode Thanksgiving 2022 podcast. You'll be hearing some spectacular stories of gratitude, thankfulness, and giving. I just want to thank everybody who's participated in these podcasts. There'll be 3 separate ones, 2 from 2 different not-for-profits, and then another one just with people telling their stories. I hope you all have a wonderful Thanksgiving and create new traditions and new memories, and have a blessed day.
My name is Louise Sobel. I live in Alberta, Canada. I'd like to thank Kelly for asking me to be on the podcast today. She's asked me to tell you something about Giving Tuesday, which is coming up on the 29th of November. It's every last Tuesday in November. And I think it's very significant that it's right a few days after Thanksgiving. And so Giving Tuesday is a worldwide day of giving. It's has 80 countries participating in it now. And last year, over $1 billion was raised in donations. So it's a perfect day to, with your family, find a way that you can help a charity that you love. And today I want to tell you something about our charity, which is Dominican STARFISH Foundation. I'm going to go way back till I was 12 years old. So when I was 12 years old, our church had a program that for young girls for age 12 and 13 called Honor Badges. And we were asked to do 5 of these honor badges a year for those 2 years. And we had 80 to choose from. And they were to help us in our lives, better our lives in all different areas. Well, I don't know why, but I chose to do all 80. And my parents were a wonderful support. But one of those honor badges, and I have all of them today still, we had to write about each thing, and we had to get it signed by local leaders and regional leaders. So one of those honor badges talked about service. And I had been listening to stories about Albert Schweitzer and Joan of Arc. And in this honor badge, I wrote that someday I wanted to do humanitarian work in Africa. Well, many, many years later, because next March I turned 70, many years later, I earned a trip to the Dominican Republic. And I just went there on a vacation. My husband and I bought a vacation package, and we started going back because we enjoyed the beach and the all-inclusive and the decadence, everything that we found there. But it wasn't long before we learned that the people there that were serving us at the resort were very poor, and they lived in not very nice situations. And so we started taking things back to give to the people that work for us. And then we started gradually getting off the resort and seeing how the real people lived in the Dominican Republic. And that changed my life forever. And eventually the Dominican Republic became my Africa. So we started taking things and then, sorry, we started taking a lot of things to give to the people there. And in 2011 was when we really started, 5 years after we'd been there. We'd never been in a home. One of our tour guides said, meet me here tomorrow and I'll take you on a place we can walk to and see the poor people. And I said, well, what will I give? I only had a little suitcase of used clothes that somebody at the resort had given us, and I'd never given away used clothes before. So we met this guide and we went up to this community, and we took this little suitcase and we went to a lady's porch. And on the porch, I opened the suitcase and started handing out the used clothing. And I was shocked that a crowd of people were pushing grabbing, yelling to get a piece of used clothing, and it broke my heart. So I wrote home to my friends who are coming, and I said, the airline lets you bring one 50-pound bag free, bring lots of clothes. So they came and they brought lots of clothes. Well, one of the suitcases got lost, and it was so devastating because it was all the little girls' clothes. But eventually the airline gave us $1,700 to replace what was in that suitcase. And that's what started my shopping and going to these places to get things to take there. And so a sad thing turned out to be a blessing. So the next year in 2012, we went to this community again to deliver shoes. And my son was with me, and he had lived in Uruguay for a couple of years, and so he spoke Spanish. And this lady came up to him and asked him if we could get a leg for her mother. And I thought, how in the world would we get a leg for anyone? And I came home from that trip, and I was just really searching my soul if I was doing what I was supposed to be doing, and if I had any ego in this, because I certainly was spending a lot of time helping the people. And I felt like it was something I was supposed to do. And then that very same night, I discovered a video of a girl in Santo Domingo who had lost both of her legs, and she had gone to a place called, darn, I can't remember, Innovations anyway, something to do with prosthetics. And they partnered with our church to give 50 people new legs and arms every year. And so I was so excited. And so I phoned and found somebody to help me with that. And 3 months later, I got to watch while she got her new leg and watch on Skype. So that fall we went back, and I wanted to see her first thing. And I took my friend who could speak Spanish with me, Spanish and English with me. And after we saw her, we went to the school that we'd visited before. But since we had someone that could speak English and Spanish, my husband said, why is there a 2-room school and you're only using 1 room? Well, the wall had fallen in, the floor had fallen in, and the building needed to be condemned. And so I had just started a nonprofit in Alberta called Dominican STARFISH Foundation. And I said, I think we can help you with the school. And I was a little bit naive, but I came home and we did raise the funds and we rebuilt that school. So when I went back in January, they had the grand opening of the school. There was lots of media there, lots of people. There were a lot of people there. And this older lady came up to me and asked me if we could help with her, build her a home. And I thought, how would we ever do that? Like, because building homes was not even on our radar. But I came home and it was my 60th birthday, and my kids did a surprise fundraiser in our house. They did a little auction, and we raised $1,200 that day. And then we raised some more money, and Mila got her home. And we were so happy. She was so happy. So we set our goal to build 1 home a year. Well, somebody had a much bigger goal for me than I had for myself. And so now on Giving Tuesday this year, we are raising the funds for our 200th home. So since 2013, we have helped with 200 homes in the Dominican Republic. So it is such a blessing. It's such a blessing for people. And I see the miracles. I see the changes in their lives. I see how they are starting to help other people when we've helped them. And so we're thrilled with where we've gone from there. We named it after the famous starfish story about the little boy who was on the beach throwing starfish back into the ocean. And a man came along and said, "Son, you're wasting your time. There's millions of them." And he picked one up and threw it in and said, "Made a difference to that one." Okay, I'm sorry, I get a little bit emotional about that story still, because there is so much need, and we know that we can't possibly make a difference to everyone, but we are making a difference to families, one family at a time, and we love that. We have a partner in the US, their names are PAL Humanitarian. Both of us donate 100% of everything that comes in. It's completely volunteer. We don't take any expenses. So that's a really cool thing. Another thing that we do is we hire local workers. So these local workers build our homes. And last year we had about 65 different workers that helped us on our 2 teams to build the homes. So we're also providing employment for people. So for Giving Tuesday, we're raising money for a little Haitian refugee family. They have been on our waiting list for a home for 8 years. And they have had no land, so we couldn't build. And recently their church congregation raised the money, and they're very poor themselves, and bought a piece of land for this family. So they have 2 little girls and a little boy, and we have set a goal to raise $15,000. That's how much we need for a home by Giving Tuesday. And so we have asked people all around Canada and the United States to do a little fundraiser with themselves and their family or their church or their business to donate for Giving Tuesday, so that we can make this a big group project, like a big North American project, to raise money for this little family to have a home. And we also have people that have given matching funds. So far we have $6,750 in matching funds. So they're going to match the first $6,750 that we raise, which is awesome. We have another family that really need help. So if we get more than we need for one family, we'll put it towards this other family. She's a lady that has adopted 5 children and lives in a shack. And so we'd love to help her too. We also take groups of people to the Dominican with us. And we do that every year. We have dentists that go, doctors that go, but we have families that go. And the families can come and participate and take food packs. When I went there, I told you it was 5 years before I got into a home. And now when we take people, they're into a home and seeing how people live the first time they ever come. So you can contact me about that. And I would love to visit with anyone. So you can contact me, dominicanstarfish@gmail.com. We do have a Facebook page that's Dominican Starfish Foundation, or my personal page, either one. So our website is dominicanstarfish.com. There is a donate button on there, and you can donate either in the US or Canada.